And welcome to Legal Limelight. Today's guest is Matt Kerbis. He's otherwise known as the subscription attorney, and I'm really excited to talk all things business and new business models that lawyers are using. The subscription model is definitely a new model that is revolutionizing the way that we practice law and the way that clients are able to buy and not be so concerned about crazy bills and hourly fees. So, hey, Matt, I see you. Bring you up. Okay, just accepted. Hey,
Hey,
how are you?
good. How you doing?
I'm good. Are you in Chicago right now?
I am downtown right now. Lawyer conference, ABA. What's up?
Oh my gosh. Okay, love it. And I love Chicago this time of year.
Let's see if we got a good shot. There we go.
You got a great shot. So I just gave a mini intro that you're the subscription attorney and that you have incredible rates to basically help clients, small businesses, medium-sized businesses, and you are based in Chicago. And let's get right in. You and I have been talking on Entra, so it's exciting to see you on Instagram.
Yeah, for sure. And my first Instagram live. So how about it? I'm sounding good. Everything's good.
Everything's good. You look great. I like the glasses.
All right, great. So yeah, happy to be here. Yeah, of course we share legal office hours on Entra, which has been fun. But I love that you're doing this. And I've gone back and watched some of your Legal Limelight, and this is just an awesome idea. And I'm happy to be a guest.
Yeah, of course. I know. I was like, we need to spotlight you because what you're doing is really incredible. And let's talk about it. So, where were you previously to starting the subscription attorney? What made you build out your new business?
Yeah, so I spend a lot of time with just innovators and entrepreneurs in the legal profession, oftentimes in legal tech. And so since I'm in Chicago and I went to law school at one of the Chicago schools, I've been going to the ABA's legal tech show every year for like 12 years. And sure, it was virtual for a couple of years there, but I've been like very much steeped in innovation in the legal profession, from the very beginning of my legal career. And so most legal tech companies that are actually innovating offer the subscription model, as do most companies that venture capital invests in, because it's a fantastic model. So in the back of my head, I just had that subscription model there. And my first job as a lawyer was actually representing people in foreclosure, keeping a roof over their heads for as long as possible. And while I wasn't paying a lot of attention to the business model then, what I did learn was that we just charged a few $100 a month every month, and as long as we were able to keep them in their home, they continued to pay that. And so that was essentially the subscription model. But I hadn't really thought of it as the subscription model back then. And I don't think my employer at the time thought of it as the subscription model. But many years would go by, and sort of a synthesis of a lot of things came together, such as trying to close the access to justice gap. And I sort of realized that if we apply the same sort of business practices and ideas to scaling a business and creating efficiencies and eliminate redundancies by automating them, then you could actually reduce the cost of legal services while growing your amount of clients, increasing the amount of revenue that you make as an attorney or as a law firm, and representing more people. And so I'm taking a slight more access to justice approach than has ever been done before. I'm not the first subscription attorney. I'm just the first attorney that's identified as the subscription attorney. But it's been done before, but it's usually not affordable for everyday people. Like Kim Bennett was really one of the first ones. She's a trademark attorney. So yeah, it makes sense. You're an IP attorney, so like there's consistent things that need to be done to protect somebody's IP as a lawyer. And so that's sort of a natural fit for the subscription model, and that's where it started. So I'm trying something very new with it by trying to make it more affordable for everyday people, freelancers, especially with the booming gig economy and freelance economy that we have.
It's amazing, and it really is making a difference. I think that the way that we're going in is away from the hourly rate, away from the billable hour. I think the billable hour is the bane of so many lawyers' existence. Clients don't like it. Lawyers don't like it for obvious reasons. It causes burnout. There's also this piece to it, like, I still don't understand how lawyers can get away with, like, okay, you have like a 3,000, you have a, not 3,000, you have a really high billable hour requirement. You guys have to hit it. Like, how has no one stopped to think, like, why are we forcing associates to try to do that? Isn't that, like, not in the client's best interest? So it's just something to think about. I know I'm going to piss people off by saying that, but it's something we need to be talking about. So with your business, tell us, like, what are you doing? What are the services? What does that include? What does the subscription include?
Sure. So subscriptionattorney.com is where you could go and you can find everything there. I believe that transparency is really important just in general in life, but especially when it comes to legal services. Like you were saying, not only is it bad for the attorney who has to bill 2,000 plus hours a year, but for the client who doesn't know, like, you might piss off like old white lawyers, which is totally fine with me, Francesca, by saying, what's wrong with that. But the clients, they don't want to bill by the hour, but that's really their only option, right? It's like going to a restaurant and ordering the fish at market price, but the server can't tell you what it's going to cost until you finish eating the fish. And then you have to pay because you already ate the fish, right? You already got the legal services. So why should any consumer want to ever do that? And that's why like 70 to 80% of people, at least in the US, I don't know, international statistics, like, aren't using a lawyer. And it's because of that. That's one of the reasons. And so, a transparent price for legal advice is my motto, slogan, whatever. I know I got to get it trademarked.
You got to trademark that.
I know. A transparent price for legal. I'm using it. It's in the market. I'm using it. A transparent price for legal advice. And on my website, well, I don't have like a tab that's like, here's my prices. I have a very particular customer journey going through my website. And when you get to an actual like type of legal services that you think would work for you, whether you're an individual, a freelancer, or a small business owner, from there, you could see what are the limited fees and what are all of the flat fee services that I offer to subscribers. And so right now it really runs the gamut. And I'm very broad. Like for example, I will help analyze, review, or explain or draft a contract, and it's $49.99 or $50 per page, right? So what is a contract? Pretty much anything, right? I mean, like, so much falls into that category of contract. There are things that are a little bit more specific though, like residential real estate closings. I do those. Most attorneys already charge flat fees in the state of Illinois for a real estate closing. I charge $200 less than the standard lowest flat fee cost because I want to create lifetime value for my clients. I want them to say subscribe to me even at $20 a month. They're getting access to that below market flat fee rate because I offer so many other legal services. Simple estate planning. It shouldn't cost somebody $2,000 to put together a simple estate plan with advanced medical directives and a will. For my subscribers, it's $399.99 or $400 if you're a subscriber, right? Because I want to keep you happy. I want to keep you coming back. I want to be available and accessible to my clients and not bill them for every time they try to call me. There are so many stories of lawyers that and I have a podcast, Law Subscribed, too. If you're a lawyer listening, you can subscribe to Law Subscribed on all your podcast apps. But I've talked to lawyers, mostly women and women of color, who are innovating in the space. And they all have a similar kind of realization, which is I'm meeting with a client and they don't know if I'm going to be charging them for it. Like, we're getting lunch. Mm-hmm. And the client's like, am I going to get a bill for this lunch for meeting with you? It's impossible to develop a relationship with your client when they're always worried that they're on the clock with you. Mm-hmm. So I do not charge for conversations. Even if you're an entry-level subscriber, you get access to a very specific Calendly link that only my entry-level subscribers get. And you have I've carved out time for those subscribers, and you can book a time to talk with me, or you can message me anytime through my client portal, and I will give you legal advice.
Wow.
And a lot of times it's more than that, right? Like, a lot of times, like, sometimes legal advice only is good up to a point, and that's why I offer below market flat fee services for if your legal issue goes beyond just the advice that you need.
So you mentioned Calendly. I love Calendly. It's how I feel I've been very I've been able to take control of my life by blocking my time and knowing which days I do real legal work and which days I'm on the phone. I'm on the phone Tuesdays and Thursdays from 1 o'clock on until I pick up my kids. So it really is, it's an amazing tool. What other tools are you using to help automate your business?
Yeah, that's a really important question. Like Calendly is like probably my most used tool, but
Yeah.
close after that is my client portal. And so I'm using, I demoed like over 20 different client portal type software. Some of them are well known in the legal profession for like legal tech, like Clio, I know has a client portal, and they do a lot for like just law practice management. And there's a lot of law practice management softwares out there that also have client portal parts of them. None of those worked for me because a lot of them are built around the billable hour. And so I had to look outside of legal tech for client portals. I ended up finding one that a lot of private practice medical offices use, or doctors' offices, because they are HIPAA compliant with security. And as an attorney, as you know, security and maintaining attorney-client privilege is super, super important. So I use a product called Sweet Dash. I probably have like a code or something I could share, but I don't have it like top of mind.
You could let me know what it is. I'll put it at the bottom. I can put it at the bottom.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, absolutely. And so and it's white label, right? So instead of like, as a solo practitioner, I don't have the resources to like build a client portal from scratch.
Yeah.
And why should you? Like even big corporations, don't build things from scratch anymore. That's why there's so many successful startups that just focus on one niche thing, right? So Sweet Dash is white label. So unless my clients are watching this, LinkedIn or this Instagram live,
Yeah,
or
they will know.
yeah, they wouldn't know because it's all my branding that's on there. And so, and it's been a really good, for me, it's been really good to use. So I use that the next. After that, I have document automation software.
Wait,
And as a lawyer,
before you go on
go
to
ahead.
the next one, what about email? So do they contact you all in that portal, have you been able to avoid email that way?
Yes. Also,
Because I hate email.
Excellent insight, Francesca. Excellent insight. Yes, I do not email with my clients. First of all, because like you, I don't like email, right? But also, email is not secure. It's unencrypted. I would say every lawyer who's using email to communicate with their client is probably committing malpractice, right? Unless there are certain encryption type email add-ons you could use, I know, for like Outlook, for example. So in my client portal, you only get access to those messages if you have that person's name, like login and password to the client portal, which is a lot harder to get, better preserves attorney-client privilege. And I always encourage, though I don't require it, though I could require it through the portal that I use, is multi-factor authentication, right? So you could choose to use that. So it's a more secure form of communication. And then I have certain times of day, like you, I time block. And I go in and I check my client portal and I respond to client messages. And so
That's huge.
Yeah, that's it. They schedule calls with me or Zoom meetings with me on Calendly. And I frankly, even if they want to call, I prefer Zoom calls where we just keep the video off, because those are encrypted, more encrypted than a phone call, right? And so like I try to preserve attorney-client privilege at every turn. So yes, I do have some inbound from potential clients in my email. But it's only $20 to try me out for a month. So like it's a pretty low barrier to entry, so I push them towards just try me out for a month and communicate with me through the client portal and get them used to doing that. And there is friction there, right? Because everyone's in their email. And I had existing clients that were very hesitant to move over to my client portal when I started my own practice. And one of them still refuses. He will only email me. But other than that,
yeah, but if you can get majority of the people in the portal and not in email, like email is actually, I was doing a live this morning about it. It's the bane of my existence. I hate it. If I didn't take control of my life and my time, I would be answering emails, DMs, LinkedIn messages, comments on social. Like, you have to be super intentional. And I don't start my day by doing emails. I start my day by going to my to-do list and doing contracts or trademarks or whatever copyright work that comes in. So that's like a game changer. And can you repeat the name of the portal for anyone who's interested in that?
Yeah, for sure. Sweet Dash, just one word. And it's there are a lot of options out there, and they're not all going to work for everyone, right? Like I found some really incredible solutions. Like even as the subscription attorney, there's a platform. I mentioned Kim Bennett earlier. She started a legal tech company that offers a turnkey solution to launch a subscription for your law practice.
Wow.
And I think it's really great. It's called Fidu, Fidu, as in fiduciary. So I think it's fidulegal.com. I think that's what it is. But if you Google Fidu Legal, you should find it. But even that wasn't the type of subscriptions that I wanted to offer, because that's her version of a subscription. And so, but that could be a great tool for a lot of lawyers. But whatever your business is, like having a client portal like SweetDash or whatever, like there's a lot of them out there. There was even one I think called like simpleclientportal.com. I don't know if like that's the URL, but I really liked that, but it didn't do enough of what I needed it to do. Right. And so, so there's a lot of potential options out there for business owners, lawyers or not. And like using a client portal could be great.
Oh my gosh. So I know you're at a conference right now, and I really appreciate you taking the time. We'll keep this one short, and we usually keep them short anyway. But before we wrap up, Matt, where's the best place that people can contact you?
Yeah, so like I said, subscriptionattorney.com is the law firm website. If you're interested in the podcast and you're a lawyer watching this, lawsubscribe.com is where you could learn more about that and find all the links to all the podcasting apps where you could subscribe to that. And then I'm not super active on Instagram. LinkedIn is where I am, like many lawyers. So LinkedIn, if you search Matthew Kerbis or the subscription attorney, you should be able to find me. DMs are open. I always accept connections. Don't spam me, but I will connect with you on there. That's the best place to find me. And Entre, of course, on Wednesdays. If you want to see me again with Francesca, that's where you can find me too.
Yeah, we do legal office hours in Entre at 2:00. Especially, Entre's a platform that's really based in the Web3 community. So if you're interested in Web3 or want to learn more, definitely check that out. Thank you, Matt. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your conference, and I'll see you next week.
See you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. Well, thank you for coming to Legal Limelight. This is another great show with Matthew Kerbis, the subscription attorney. Have an amazing rest of your day, everyone, and we'll see you next Thursday. Bye.
Bye.